Seen this area develop into like a tourist mecca. Back in the day when I first went there, it was quite like, oh, you just walk up to the beach and they had some seating. Now there's a gift shop and gates and everything, but that's beside the point. These little guys are still coming 365 days a year. You sit in these seats, you watch, and you see these guys come up out of the ocean. Sometimes 2 at a time, a dozen at a time, and it's quite funny because you see the massive, and I'm being sarcastic, the wave behind there. It'll come up behind them and knock them all down like bowling pins, wash them out to sea, but they're persistent little guys. They pop back up and they walk past you, and their burrows are behind you. You're not allowed to take photos of them, and they walk past you, and they are a sight to see. So originally when I started this job, they were referred to as the fairy penguins, and that's not politically correct anymore. But it gets better. The really funny thing is, so for the first 10 years or so, all the tour operators were calling their tour the Fairy Penguin Parade or something along those lines. That doesn't fly anymore. So I want to say about 10 years ago, they changed it to the Little Penguin Parade. So I'm guessing some short people got ticked off because a few years later, that went by the wayside, and they started calling them the Phillip Island Penguins. So it's now the Phillip Island Penguin Parade, which is a mouthful. Anyway, they're the politically correct penguins, but they're adorable. Anybody know what this is? Well done. Oh, well done. Who is the one who said wombat? Did you see it? Have you seen one?
Just interesting one.
Oh, just photos. Okay. I actually held this guy. I mean, he was quite fat, actually. He was. I think they're ugly myself, but they are native to Australia. Similarly, camels native to Australia. Most people don't know that. Did you know that? No, I know. It's a shocker. I made that part up, actually. They're not native to Australia. Does anybody know how they got there? You do. Really?
Yes.
Are you a teacher or something? Or?
No, I wrote one on the band.
Okay, does everybody hear that? Okay, so there's a famous train ride that goes up through the center of Australia. It goes from Adelaide, through Ayers Rock, Alice Springs, right up to Darwin. It's called the GHAN, G-H-A-N. It comes from the word Afghanistan. Aussies are no dummies. When they built this rail, they thought, well, we need help. Why not get these guys from the Middle East who have similar desert terrain? They've already built a rail. They can come and help us. So they did, and they brought their camels. When the job was done, they went home and the camels stayed. And they have flourished. They have done exceptionally well. You know what? If you saw one in the wild, I'd be surprised, but they're out there. But again, you know, everybody heard what she said. She rode a camel. So if you're at Ayers Rock, you can ride a camel to dinner. So they've made it into a bit of a touristy thing. The really funny thing is, did you have camel for dinner when you were there? Not the same one, but
I would have.
yes, I had it. Hopefully it wasn't the one you were riding. But yes, you can ride a camel to dinner, and then you can sample camel if you want. But they're not native to Australia, but they have done very, very well. And apparently, rumor has it, when the Middle Easterns have their camel races, the Aussie camels can't compete because they don't let them, because they always win. So they say no Australian camels allowed. So they've done very, very well. How many people in this room know an Australian or a Kiwi, a New Zealander? Or they're friends with people? See all the hands? Lots of times I get lots of hands. For whatever reason, Canadians and Australians and Kiwis get along very, very well. We always seem to have pen pals or connections some way or another. We just get along with them. And here's what I want you to do before you go. Go to Dollarama and buy those Canadian pins for your collar so they don't think you're a Yank. Like, honestly, not that they wouldn't shun you, but you know, when they find out you're Canadian, you get the extra special treatment. Okay, so here's where I launch into. So we talked about the big three, the wildlife and the Aussie people, but the Indigenous people are a big part of why you would go. So here's maybe where I think it's worthwhile to elaborate on the Outback. Of those people that went to Australia, did anybody get to the Outback? I can't remember. Anybody go? Yes, you guys were there. You didn't make it there? Oh, you did? Yeah? Okay. Again, in my opinion, can you see what she's holding there? Did everybody see that? They're called witchetty grubs, or grubs, basically. So, I don't know. I didn't have too many Vegemite takers, so I don't know how many people are actually going to try these grubs, but I encourage you to do that. When you go to these indigenous attractions or whatnot, when in Rome, I mean, these guys, like I said, they're trying to cling on to their old ways, and some of the elders do. But going to the Red Center, you're really going to have, in my opinion, a hands-on experience. They are, you know, showing people. They hauled me down onto this 500 people, and I thought, well, as long as I don't make eye contact, they won't pick me, and sure enough, they pick me, and down I go. So they're teaching me their dance, but you can try a didgeridoo. Do you know what that is? Yeah, their instrument, and they hollow out a log. Have you tried it?
No, but I just see it.
Okay, yeah, you can kind of see one out to the side there. You'll get a chance to throw a boomerang, throw a spear, etc., etc. Going